All right, General Law Subcommittee 2 is come to order. Again, since we've been here a long time today, we would like to kind of limit the testimony for, maybe about a minute or so for one person. And if you have other people that agree or disagree, just, say we agree or disagree. We can move forward pretty quick here. And the first thing we're going to be taking up is we've got a couple of things. First, we got a couple bills that we need to strike. And which bills were those?
772 and 953 we can do together.
Okay. First, we need to do the roll first.
Right, we'll do that.
Everybody check in here.
Delegate Carr.
All righty, a quorum is present. All right.
All right, you want to do your strikes?
Okay, we'll do the strikes. We had, I believe it was 2 bills to strike.
772 and 953.
772, 953. At the request of the patron, we're going to strike these 2 bills.
Need a motion?
And
Need a motion?
a motion.
I move strike.
All right, we've moved and seconded. All right, cast your vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr. All right, want to read the vote?
Both bills have been stricken from the docket. Close the roll. All right, now we were going to take up the first bills we're going to hear are the bills that are going to be going up to appropriations. And so we want to get through these pretty quick here, hopefully. I do not see Delegate Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Weber.
All right. Mr. Chairman, first up will be HB 244. Now, the story behind HB 244 is basically an expansion. So 4 years ago, we did basically a pilot program with the Northam administration, which was the Red Tape Reduction Act. And basically what that did was it had DPOR and Department of Criminal Justice Services, as well as the entire executive branch, create a regulatory baseline on regulatory requirements, and then Department of DPOR and Department of Criminal Justice Services were to reduce their regulatory burden by 25% over the course of 3 years. I would like to report, Mr. Chairman, that it was actually very successful despite COVID. They didn't quite hit 25%, but they hit 23%, which was, considering the adversity that we have faced over the last 2 years, I think that's quite considerable. What House Bill 244 does is it seeks to expand that state across the executive branch. And it does so in a couple of ways, in that it works very similarly to the way the other one did. However, it utilizes the Department of Budget and Planning, and then each executive branch is, instead of just coming up with 25%, they're going to work and come up with their own percentage points on how they can lessen the regulatory burden. That's what the bill does, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Delegate Weber. Any of the members have a question for the patron?
You ready for a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I'd like to see if any members of the public like to speak in favor or against.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Ben Knotts, Americans for Prosperity. We, in this version of the bill, we helped pass the first one, but in this one, we wanted to make sure that bureaucrats had more input. We gave them a lot of busy work, and once they told us that, hey, we could have actually done more work, if you done a better job, if you had just given us a little bit more leeway and not so much busy work, we could have done an even better job. So that's what this did, and we're excited to see it move forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, good evening. June Jennings, Deputy Secretary of Finance. House Bill 244 is part of Governor Youngkin's Day One game plan, and as such, we strongly support this legislation.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony, and All right, Delegate Weber, final words.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman. To get the bill in the right posture, I believe we need to adopt a substitute.
Move to adopt.
Second. Can I second that?
And then I also believe that in regards to Department of Health Professions, there's some line amendments that need to be adopted in the substitute, correct? Or is that to the original bill? They're in the substitute? There you go. So, there you go.
Need to adopt substitute.
Yeah, the everybody's-
Oh, wait, hold
we
on.
need to see the substitute
No.
here first.
We're on a different one. We're on 244. Okay. No, the line amendments were for the finance. folks, I believe.
Dr. Weber, can you explain the amendments?
Yes, please. Oh, it's the exemption. The line amendment.
We still have to adopt this. It's
Yes.
amendments to the substitute, right?
Yeah.
We have a motion
Yeah.
about that?
We need to.
So it's on line 60. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, on line 60, basically it just says the Secretary of Finance or his designee may exempt an agency from requirements because we have a couple of agencies that literally only have 3 or 4 requirements in their regs.
Can I stop you just for a second? Have we adopted the substitute?
I don't believe so. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, we did. We adopted substitute.
That's all it does,
All right,
is it
very
allows
good.
them to exempt a couple of agencies that have very little regulation.
Very good. All right.
You've got a motion and a second.
Wait.
Delegate Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was hoping that the patron could help me better understand lines 77 through 79 and how that might, an example of what that might look like so that I could better understand.
Do I have a substitute in front of me?
Would you like me to read it?
Is it the Speaker of the House, the Delegate, the Chairman of the State Subcommittee rules may direct the House Committee on Appropriations and Senate Committee on Appropriations to review the regulatory budget efforts of each agency? And
It's
report to the
review
General
state
Assembly?
laws and regulations that may inhibit the creation and success of new business industries and provide recommendations to the Governor and General Assembly on modifying state laws or regulations.
No. Inhibit portion.
Mr. Chair, addressing Delegate Adams, one of the goals of this program, we've seen it when we've done it in other states, is to really empower bureaucrats and regulators to connect with the decision makers to say, hey, we've seen that there is this advancement in this space, and we want to address some of the regulations that we think are inhibiting innovation. There's some other legislation that we think gives a more proactive role in that, and that's what the aim of this is, if that makes sense.
Mr. Chair, follow-up? Follow-up, Mr. I guess it's a yes. So I guess my question is, I'm just wondering about the unintended consequences of when you have, so part of, I mean, nobody likes bureaucracy, right? But part of the intention of it is that there is a regulated structure and there is public, feedback. And I guess my question is, could an unintended consequence be, we're basically undermining important regulations that may have, a reason for being there, but also decrease the transparency of which, these regulations were created within.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, addressing Delegate Adams. Delegate Adams, one of the things that we learned with the Red Tape Reduction Act is sometimes we give these mandates to bureaucrats who have really great ideas about how we can make things better, and we really haven't empowered them to do that. The purpose of that line is basically what they said they wanted to be trusted with some more responsibility to give some ideas about how we can achieve outcomes. We have a government that's often activity-oriented and not outcome-oriented. So, yes, there's probably some risks when empowering people to try to get us to that outcome, but that's why we trust their supervisors and their supervisors and their supervisors to make sure we're not doing any harm in the effort to achieve that outcome of letting Virginians, pursue their dreams, opportunities, and everything else. So
One last follow-up.
Yeah.
Having been a state employee and appreciating like that concept and conceptually, I guess my only question is, it doesn't seem like there's any guardrails for ensuring that professionals, because what state employees are in many respects are experts in particular subsections. And so like there is a reason for some of that. And I just worry that there's no guardrails. It's sort of very, very open-ended. Believe me, I'm all about decreasing, a lot of the red tape, but also within some kind of structure that make sure that we're not deregulating something that's important or professionally related to a particular agency.
If I could, that's also why they come,
Yep.
at least
Delegate Weber.
on some of those lines, they bring some of those recommendations back to the General Assembly for legislative action, so that way the policy can be made by us. And although sometimes we're not necessarily the experts in certain fields, but so some of the innovation stuff, we will have final say on what comes.
Thank you so much. It's helpful.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion.
You've got a motion on second.
All right, a motion to report
And for,
report and refer to appropriations. The members will,
Second.
yeah, we had a second. Who was that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
It was
we already have.
Moorfield, yep. And members will indicate their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
All right, we close the roll in the measure reports and referred by a vote of 6-0. Thank you, Delegate Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, next up is House Bill 208, which establishes the Virginia Regulatory Sandbox. So the regulatory sandbox created by the bill allows an individual or business to demonstrate a product or product method or service under a waiver or a suspension of one or more state laws or regulations. The bill sets out the process by which an individual or business may apply for the participating program, the role of the department in reviewing such applications for approval or denial, and the requirements for participating in the program. It also includes provisions related to consumer protection. Ideally, Mr. Chairman, the goal is to allow small subsets or pilot projects to go forward to demonstrate. So, for instance, with COVID, some of the laws that we have passed and repealed over the last 2 years, we have seen the innovation that has happened because of businesses having a little bit more leeway on the way they do business. And what this would do would set up a formalized process to be able to do that. There's a number of other states that have one, including our neighbor, West Virginia. And that's what the bill seeks to do, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any other members have a question for the patron? All right, there's a testimony from the audience.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I could, I would like to adopt a couple of line amendments.
All right, Ms. Benz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On line 77, after businesses, strike the remainder of line 77 and insert a comma. On line 78, after the word industries, insert comma or products. On line 80, after framework, insert comma, conduct studies, comma, and issue reports. And lastly, on line 100, after required, insert however, nothing in this chapter shall be construed to waive any licensure, certification, or registration requirements established by the Department of Health Professions pursuant to Subtitle 3, Section 54.1-2400 et sec of Title 54.1. And those line amendments should be available on LAS and IHUD.
Need a motion on the amendments? All right, the amendments are before us. Any discussion? All in favor of the amendments, say aye.
aye.
All opposed? All right. All right.
Members of the committee, Bid Knots, Americans for Prosperity. I want to connect you with how this version of the bill came. There's a healthcare sandbox and there's also a fintech sandbox. I want to tell you a little story real quick about where this came from. When I was talking to the Department of Health Professions about our healthcare sandbox idea, they said, hey, we can't go coordinate with the Department of Medical Assistance Services and EMS to do a project that we wanted to do and there was bipartisan support for. Imagine if you dial 911 and an ambulance shows up at your door and they can do telehealth at your doorstep. It costs you pennies on the dollar instead of taking you to an ER. But the problem is these agencies don't talk to each other. And they said, hey, why don't we have an independent agency that can come in and coordinate this so we can find out if this is a good idea or not. But then, so they said, well, we can't, they were telling me that the best idea is this independent agency could coordinate between the agencies. And that's where this idea came from. So as a result of that, we've looked at all the different opportunities within the agencies about how we could innovate. And as the delegate mentioned, we've had 20 different sandboxes passed across the country, from financial technologies to healthcare to agriculture to you name it. And the idea here is to really make sure we don't have blockbuster policy in a Netflix world. And that's really what we're trying to get at here. So I hope you'll support the legislation today, and I'll be quiet.
Thank you, Ben. All right, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Connor Kish with the Sierra Club. I actually don't disagree with a lot of what my friend from American Prosperity for Prosperity just said, but I do want to say that Sierra Club does oppose the bill as written. We do have some concerns about how broad the language is, and we do obviously understand the need for innovation across many sectors, whether that be financial sectors, health sectors, in the instance that was just mentioned. But we're concerned about the lack of guardrails for organizations, industry groups that would be promoting or applying to do projects that would involve a polluting sector, and just think it's a little bit too broad. But again, don't oppose the idea of less regulations in sectors that need it, but do, as written, oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, and I believe we have some opposition in the queue. Yes, sir. Is that
Yes, sir,
Mr. Calvert?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pat Calvert, and I'm speaking on behalf of Virginia Conservation Network for the reasons that you just heard from my colleague with the Sierra Club. I think that there are some, this is essentially bypassing some regulations that we have to protect our health and our environment. So I think for certain sectors, this could work. I think for some other sectors, there need to be some guardrails, as Delegate Conversfeller mentioned. And so for that reason, I think we'd have to oppose this legislation as it's written. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, sir. Appreciate your testimony. And Delegate Weber, final word.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Basically, the way it works is they have to apply to be able to do this, and they have to present what they're going to do. So, we have the ultimate say about whether they can, participate in the program or not. So I believe those safeguards are in place.
Thank you, Delegate Weber. This committee operates on motions.
I move to report and refer, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All right, we have a motion to report and refer. All right, the members will indicate their preference on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
All right, the bill, mine bill didn't record. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. The thing's kind of, this thing's really persnickety, but anyway. All right, the bill reports 5-1 with one abstention. Thank you, Delegate Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I'm going to go out of order here a little bit. Mr. Austin, you have two bills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let's do the the Botetourt Library Board first, if you would, please.
All right.
It's HB 468.
HB 468.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, HB 468 allows Botetourt County the ability at its request to change its library board from a governing board to an advisory board. Currently, Botetourt County's library board does not control expenditures. It only advises on the budget and major expenses. Furthermore, Botetourt Library Board does not handle money, does not own property, does not hire personnel, and does not perform the maintenance of the buildings. Botetourt Library Board members are not insured in case of a lawsuit. For these reasons, the bill has the unanimous support of the Library Board and the Botetourt County Board of Supervisors.
All right, does any of the members have a question for the patron? Any members in the audience wish to opine? All right, the chair will entertain a motion.
Move to report, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of or opposed, cast your vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr, you're muted. I think that was an aye, wasn't it?
Aye. Aye.
Give her the up or down. There you go. All right, and close roll. All right, Delegate Austin, that one reports out 7-0, and I believe you have one more.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do. And with me is Mr. Jason Baum from UVA. HB 507, Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee, is a name, image, and likeness bill, referred to normally as NIL. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, HB 507 deals with college student athletes and the use of their name, image, and likeness. Virginia colleges and universities are known for their strong intercollegiate athletic programs. HB 507 will allow the Commonwealth to maintain this posture. 24 other states already have NIL bills, and this bill will help level the playing field, no pun intended, when it comes to recruiting and retention. The NCAA has adopted interim NIL policies. However, it is unknown whether it will adopt permanent policies. And in the event, if policy is adopted, it is unknown what precautions will be provided to student athletes. HB 507 seeks to address this by establishing concrete NIL rules to protect student athletes' rights and eligibility and allow Virginia's programs to effectively compete against other institutions in other states. It also ensures that student athletics academics pursuits are not undermined. Lines 17 through 31 define address definitions. Lines 32 through 93 list of prohibited actions. Senate Bill 223 is a cognate of this bill and is passed out of the Senate unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Delegate Austin.
Mr. Baum's
See
here.
your testimony here.
I'd like to, sorry, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee, for having me today. Delegate Austin, I think, summed up really well. I think everybody, we have been working together. We currently have protections right now through the budget bill that will expire in June. We've been working with all the Division I public and private institutions amongst the athletic directors, presidents, general counsels, and we're all in support of this together. And I thank you for your time.
All right, we thank you. Does any of the members have a question for the patron? All right, the chair will entertain a motion. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Step forward, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Julia Billingsley with Virginia 21. We are very supportive of the rights and protections that this legislation affords student athletes, and we encourage it to be reported. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate your testimony. All right, the chair will entertain a motion. All right, we got a motion and a second. All right, all members will indicate their vote on electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr,
Carr votes yes.
Thank you, Delegate Austin.
Chairman, members of the committee, thank you.
Thank you. Delegate Brewer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I have before you House Bill 907. Just let me know when you're ready for me to proceed.
All right.
All right.
Fire at will.
This legislation is designed to provide certainty and uniformity to the process for companies to install certain security fences. Before I keep on going, I do have a small line amendment, I believe.
Ms. Benz.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on line 37, after is taller, semicolon, strike the word and at the beginning of line 39, strike fence, period, insert fence, quotation mark, semicolon, and Romanet 7, include a mechanism that allows first responders to deactivate the system during an emergency. And Mr. Chairman, those line amendments should be available on LAS and IHUB.
And Mr. Chair, just to explain what that does, basically, just in case fire and rescue personnel need to access the fencing, it would be like for Knox boxes or things of that nature.
Okay, we need to adopt the amendment. Second. All right, all those in favor of the amendment say aye. All opposed? All right, the amendment's before us. Delegate Brewer.
All right. So I know we've all heard recently a lot about increasing theft, property crime, things of this nature. It's been everything from catalytic converters to large vehicles and equipment, especially for those that are business owners. And what this legislation will do will really help businesses that want to install battery charged fences to protect their assets, things as large as tractor trailers, landscape equipment, things of that nature. And this really is a cost reduction, but it's also another safety mechanism for those businesses. It is supported by the Trucking Association and the Agribusiness Council as well. And there are a list of requirements that they can work with localities, so there still is a permitting process in regard to that. So we're not trying to circumvent localities out of their due process in any way. But this bill is just about making sure that businesses can adequately protect their property. So I hope it be the pleasure of the subcommittee to report House Bill 907. If you have any questions, I also have a phone a friend.
All right. Anybody have any final questions? All right. Chair will entertain a motion. All right, we got a motion and a second. Members will indicate their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have got Delegate Subramanian. Where is he? I got House Bill 471. I think that one would have to go upstairs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I want to move the substitute.
We have a motion to adopt a substitute. Second, anybody second? All right, there we go. All right, the bill as amended is before us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So HB 471 adds a requirement to the building code that new public buildings of over 5,000 square feet are built with solar-ready roofs. It also requires that school buildings that fit that description are built to use net zero energy. These also apply to certain renovations whose costs exceed 50% of the value of the building. The substitute just provides localities more flexibility. We did that in conjunction with stakeholders, and exemptions are available already in the statute for special circumstances. So those are already in the code. But I think this is, the purpose here is, having solar-ready roofs and having solar can actually help with cost savings in the long term. So while there's a little bit of an upfront cost, often you end up with a long-term savings in the long run. So I'm happy to answer any questions, and we have some folks to speak to it as well.
All right, thank you, Delegate Subramanian. Any members have a question for the patron? Is anyone from the audience like to speak in favor or against the bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Connor Kish with the Sierra Club. This is a great bill. Lowers costs in the long term and makes schools cleaner. I know there's a lot of folks that wish to speak to it, so I'll yield my time to them, but we are in support. Thank you.
Folks in the queue.
Jordan, is there anybody to speak out there?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We have Meredith Haynes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Meredith Haynes with the Virginia Grassroots Coalition, and we are an organization of over 40 groups across the state, and we support the bill. I'd like to just reiterate that it would save energy and taxpayers' money. Thank you.
Thank you. And who's next?
Miss Susan Stillman.
Ms. Stillman?
Hi, this is Susan Stillman. I'm a resident and taxpayer in Fairfax County, and I've been working with high school kids since 2015. They wanted to lobby the school board to put solar on the Fairfax County public schools, and I'm pleased to say that Fairfax County is in the process of doing that. I remember in the early days of our advocacy that the facility staff were really concerned about their roofs. They kept saying, but what about my roof? And I said, well, what about your roof? And they said, well, will it support solar panels and snow? And fortunately, our schools are built in such a way in Fairfax County that they can do that. But I understand that there are schools in the Hampton Roads area that have been built recently that cannot support solar panels, and they've been getting snow too. So this bill would put a situation together where that would be thought about. And in the planning circumstances, people would think about making the roof strong enough so they can support solar panels, which saves the taxpayers money. Fairfax County is going to have a cost overrun of $1.5 million on their electric bill this year, and that's because Dominion raises the bill periodically.
Time has elapsed.
All right, we thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Ms. Carolyn Hindle.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Hindle, and I am a high school senior, and I would just like to briefly reiterate what Mrs. Stillman said, which is that Fairfax County experienced a $1.4 million budget overrun this year because of price increases by Dominion Energy. And the net zero schools proposed in this bill would be less reliant on the grid and therefore less prone to energy price volatility. And therefore, we would have more money saved for other educational goals, more to put back into our classrooms. Building solar-ready and net zero schools would help create an environment that students are proud to be a part of and a healthier learning environment.
All right, we thank you for your testimony. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Juan Lee.
Ms. Lee.
Hello.
Welcome.
My name is Juyan, and I'm an Oakton High School senior. My classmates and I urge you to support this bill. As students, our futures depend on the action taken now. We are currently facing the effects of climate change, and without any action, climate change will exacerbate to a point where our generation will not be able to do anything. This bill would support clean energy and also bring awareness to sustainability among our generation. Please consider passing this bill for my future and the future generations who have to face the brunt of climate change. Thank you.
All right, we thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Any other members have a question for the patron?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
All right, we have a motion.
Mr. Chair, first I'd just like to thank those students for appearing on the call and supporting this legislation. I move to report.
Mr. Chairman, I have a substitute motion.
All right, do we have a substitute motion?
To lay the bill on the table.
We have a substitute to lay the bill on the table. All right, we have a second. All right, so that's a proper motion. The members will cast their vote on electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr. You're muted.
No.
All right, the bill's laid on the table by a vote of 4-3. I believe you have one more, House Bill 963.
Yes, Mr. Chair. It's House Bill 963. It essentially codifies and formalizes SLAM business outreach efforts that SBSD is currently already doing, and adds a little bit more formality to the program. So there's a program already happening right now that SBSD is doing to do outreach to various groups in various communities to get more small businesses and SWAM businesses to work with the Commonwealth and apply for contracts with the Commonwealth. And so some of these groups include community groups, universities, business and trade associations, CDFIs, and local governments. And some organizations that have partnered include Virginia Tech, Radford, George Mason. There's banks and other financial institutions, and it seems like it's been successful in its early stages. And so we just want to, the only thing that this is adding is it's going to formalize and organize the program a little more by having SBSD maintain a list of those groups that it's working with. And so I'm here to answer any questions. I hope to be the pleasure of the body to report.
All right, does any of the members have a question for the patron? Any testimony from the from the room? Yes, sir. You state your name, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Clayton Medford with the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Support the bill. I think it's a great idea to codify this. It's work done on an ad hoc basis all around the state, and business groups like ours would appreciate this kind of proactive approach to it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, yes. Welcome.
Hello. Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee, Heather Derflinger with the Virginia Bankers Association, and we are in support of House Bill 963. Our member banks are actively engaged and committed to meeting the financial needs of women and minority-owned businesses, and we look forward to being included in the department's list. We also appreciate the inclusion of community development financial institutions, as they have a mission focused on meeting the credit needs of underserved communities. I thank the delegate for his leadership on this issue and hope that you support the bill.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So we have somebody in the queue?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Jealous Shiver.
Mr. Shriver?
Good afternoon. As mentioned, my name is Jay Shiver. I'm a student with the State and Local Government Policy Clinic at the University of Virginia School of Law, and I helped Delegate Subramaniam develop this piece of legislation. I'm here just to say that this bill will help strengthen and focus the Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity's outreach and engagement with both small businesses and groups and entities that support them. A JLAC study found that 60% of agencies fall short of their 42% contracting goal with SWAM businesses, in part because there aren't enough SWAM certified businesses who can apply and bid for certain proposals being offered by the state. HB 963 would help address those problems by directing the agency to work with community partners and businesses to aid more small businesses to get certified and contract with the state. We expect one of the benefits to be that it will improve connections with hard-to-reach businesses, such as new startups and businesses operated by English as a second language speakers. And moreover, this bill would ensure that the Commonwealth will be better served by smaller business communities by directing the department to reach out to stakeholders for feedback when regulatory, policy, or outreach strategies changes are made. And as a state with one of the best business environments in the nation, we have to build on the success and create an environment and opportunity for those businesses to succeed in the Commonwealth to gain from their skills and expertise. So I urge you to support this bill so that we can assist our community and see our businesses flourish. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaver. You have the last word.
No, happy to answer questions if you have any.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
You have a motion? Yes, sir. You can state.
Mr. Chairman, this bill here is strongly supported by businesses, and small businesses are the backbone of our community. I would move that we refer this bill.
I'm not sure if I heard the motion.
I would move that we report and send this bill to appropriation.
Doesn't need to go.
This bill does not need to go upstairs, thankfully. I have this report. Do we have a second?
That wasn't helping. I'm trying to get it through.
We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. All right. The members will cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
All righty. All right.
Thank you,
Close
Mr.
the roll. The bill reports 6-1. All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Delegate Freitas.
All right, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I actually have 4 bills, but I'm willing to deal. I'm proposing 2 carryovers, 1 gently lay on the table, and hopefully 1 to report.
All right. Well, let's start with. I know we have the patron at the request of the patron. We want to carry over to Rule 22, House Bill 326.
And could I also add to that House Bill 329? Reason being is Delegate Weber has all the regulatory bills that I wanted to carry, but everyone likes him more, so I'm just going to go be a co-patron to his bills.
All right. We have a motion and a second on the 2 bills, and I believe that is it's a voice vote. All those in favor of the motion to carry over to Rule 22, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Man, I tell you, we're moving along now. What's the next one there?
The next one, Mr. Chairman, is House Bill 303, which was brought to my attention by my wife every time she has to wake up the kids after daylight savings times, and gets very upset with me about this. So, again, Mr. Chairman, I kind of have a general idea of where this is probably going to go, but the whole idea would be that I don't think the Commonwealth of Virginia should be taking marching orders from the federal government with respect to our clocks. I think we should set that for ourselves, and so this bill would essentially end daylight saving time in the Commonwealth of Virginia and move us straight to standard time. I'd be happy to take any questions from the committee.
Any questions for the patron? I have a question, I guess. Could I ask? Under this rule, would I be able to get more sleep during the General Assembly time?
I believe you would, yes. It would certainly not upset your sleep with ridiculous clock changes.
All right. Okay. Does any members from the audience like to come in? All right.
It did really well on Twitter.
All right. The chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to gently lay it on the table.
All right. We have a motion to gently lay it on the table. Second. All right. All right. I believe that is with the vote there. So members will cast a vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
All right, the bill's laid on the table by a vote of 6-1.
Mr. Chair, if you're not closed yet, I wish to change my vote to a nay, but I couldn't get.
I'll do it.
I want to thank delegates Running and Moorfield for standing up against the federal time tyranny we've all been
Let's see. Delegate Freitas, I believe we have one more for us.
We have one more. This is HB 300. So again, everything's worked exactly as I planned so far. 2 carryovers, one gently lay on the table, and now I'm hoping to get my report. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, what House Bill 1300 does is it essentially changes the current name of the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion into Diversity, Opportunity, and Inclusion. It also increases some of the scope with respect to what this position is going to do. So starting on line 19, I'll start there. It says the position is meant to increase opportunities for all Virginians, facilitate methods to turn feedback and suggestions from state employees, external stakeholders, and community leaders into actionable opportunities, promote ideas, policies, and practices in coordination with the Secretary of Commerce and Trade to expand entrepreneurship and economic opportunities for disadvantaged Virginians to include Virginians living with disabilities, facilitate bringing Virginians of different faiths together in service to their communities and the Commonwealth, promote free speech and civil discourse and civic life, including viewpoint diversity in higher education in coordination with the Secretary of Education, promote ideas, policies, and practices to eliminate disparities in prenatal care and to be an ambassador for unborn children, coordinate with the Secretary of Education to ensure the history of the United States is taught in Virginia honestly, objectively, and completely, and to respond to the rights of parents in educational and curricular decision-making and perform any other responsibilities as assigned by the governor. The whole purpose of this, Mr. Chairman, is we look at what we expect out of a position like this. We want someone that is going to be looking to expand opportunities, to develop that sort of inclusion. I think the best way to do that is to be able to provide that coordinating function among multiple agencies that are seeking to do the exact same thing. A couple of the differences in this is the emphasis along with the typical inclusion that we've always possessed, but also really reaching out to Virginians with disabilities and making sure that they have a voice in this process. And then secondly, it's about understanding that if we're really serious about being able to ensure that everybody has access to opportunities and has the skills and are properly equipped to be able to carry out those opportunities, then it can't just start with adults. It actually has to start within our education system as well. So with that, Mr. Chairman, we do have some people to speak in favor of the legislation, and I, of course, would be happy to answer any questions from the committee following that.
Okay. Let me see. We have some folks. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the distinguished committee. My name is Angela Saylor, and I am looking forward to an opportunity to take the post for the governor in his cabinet as the Chief Diversity, Opportunity, and Inclusion Officer. We believe that this is a critical position for the cabinet at this moment in history, as Americans and Virginians are looking for ways to be included in the American world. And the Commonwealth, we believe, can be a beacon of light towards creating that model for the nation. And so we are here asking for your support towards that end to expand the capacity of this role and to ensure that it is integrated throughout the state government, that it is in partnership with civil society and industry, and that we are really looking for ways and am very excited about bringing all Virginians into a place of opportunity to pursue their dreams.
Thank you. Does any of the members have a question for the witness or the chief patron?
Mr. Chairman, I move to report.
All right, we have a motion. There's a motion and a second to report. I think the members will cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr?
No.
All right, now it seems to me, are we missing somebody?
You got it now. 4-3.
Yep. Okay, the bill reports a vote of 4-3, Delegate Freitas, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right, let's see. All right, now I'm trying to figure who's been here the longest. Let me see. Who's it, Delegate Davis? Excuse me? Yeah, Delegate Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In front of you, I have House Bill 384, and there's a substitute, Mr. Chair.
All right, can, take the substitute or what? Yep, did we have some amendments? You say?
It's a straight-up substitute. It's just some clarifying language on some of it. It doesn't really change the meaning of it, just clarifies some things.
It should be online. Yeah, maybe just go back here and. Says. I can't find the darn thing now.
No problem. I've got all night. I'm good.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't have committee till 7 a.m. I'm fine.
I can't find it. So anyway. Ms. Benz, can you locate the?
Are you on iHeart or LIS?
I'm on iHeart.
It should.
You want me to go to LIS?
It's on LIS.
HB 384.
It's not showing?
Well, I'm just kind of getting up. All right, here we go.
Got it?
Yes, I do. As members, y'all looked at the amendment? Amendment? Delegate Adams?
I'm trying.
I see it in LS, but I don't see it in iHUD.
It just does this when I pull it up on LS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you
I
don't
went
see
to
it
the
in
LIS, it's up on LIS, but not iHeart. Point of anything.
It's a circuit issue. It's been happening all day.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It comes up empty.
Yep.
It's coming up blank.
But Delegate Davis, we're going to go by for a second while we figure this thing out. And
Yes, sir.
in the meantime, I am going to get this. Hold on a minute. Delegate Tran.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I have House Bill 1020.
Oh, okay. Yep, I remember this.
There it is.
which bill was this again? Delegate Tran, 1020.
1020, sir. There's no substitute, so it should be online.
Substitute. Very good.
Yay!
All right, you move to the head of the class.
So,
All right, Delegate Tran.
thank you so much. So this bill tries to make sure that individuals with disabilities are not left behind as we recover from the pandemic by doing two things. One is to affirm in our code, similar to what's under the Americans with Disabilities Act, that telework or alternative work schedules are an accommodation, and that employees who qualify for a reasonable accommodation, that this is one that being able to work via telework or having an alternative work schedule counts as an alternative as a reasonable accommodation. The second thing is that it asks the Secretary of Administration to please pull together a work group to identify inclusive telework policies across the private sector. In the code, the Secretary is charged with not just telework policies for the state employees, but also is available to local governments and the private sector in helping to assist with model telework policies. And we know that through this pandemic, telework and alternative work schedules have worked. We've been required, so many of us have had to do so remotely. And so making sure that as companies are rethinking and reimagining their telework policies, they're taking into account the needs of their employees who have disabilities and that they are also included.
1020. All right, does any of the members have a question for the patron?
Mr. Chair.
Delegate Runyon.
Yes, a question of the patron, please.
Yes, sir.
So, did I understand you right to say that this mirrors the ADA requirements that employers would have currently?
So my understanding is that this would affirm what's under the ADA, that telework is a reasonable accommodation for those employees who have a disability and qualify for an accommodation. It does not, I just want to be clear, it does not say it is the reasonable accommodation you must select, right, if you have multiple options, but that it is a form of a reasonable accommodation.
Thank you. And I'm very sensitive to this issue, and so I agree with your statement earlier that we need to make sure that folks that need this opportunity have this opportunity. My concern would be, and I think that's what you just said, is that ADA already requires employers or whoever falls under ADA to meet this obligation, reasonable accommodation, and so we would be creating would we not be creating a duplicative standards too late in the night, that so the employers are having to kind of watch two sets of rules and be aware of two sets of risk of action against them?
I would respond, Mr. Chair, to the delegate by saying there are many instances in our code where we affirm what is also in federal law because we want those protections as well in Virginia law. And so I think that this is one of those instances.
Okay, Mr. Chair,
Delegate
follow-up. So how would that affirmed portion that applies from the state, how would that impact the employer? How would it make this situation better?
So there's a couple other parts of the bill where the state is already required to set to identify like goals for employees who telework generally. And what we are proposing is to pull out from like all employees who telework to identify those, just number-wise, what is known about those who telework as a reasonable accommodation. The logic being that a reasonable accommodation is a different situation than if an employee is granted flexibility for telework for other reasons. So that's an example of how, in affirming both what's under the ADA, we can continue to do that in other aspects of how we already look at telework.
Mr. Chair, thank you.
All right, thank you, Delegate Runyon. Any other members have a question? Anybody from there in the room?
Mr. Chair, I apologize. I should have a question. I think there was a question prior. Didn't this bill in front of us a week or so ago?
Yes,
My
sir.
notes are a little unclear. So, what is? There was an agency, DHRM.
I think they're in the room. Yep.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. I'm Emily Elliott, Director for the Department of Human Resource Management. I was asked to be present, but I don't know what the question was. If there was a question.
Delegate Runyon.
I'm on thin ice here because my notes are from a different delegate's question, but if you all, I think what it meant to say was, do you all have an opinion or position on this?
Sure, the administration hasn't taken a position on this.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right,
Mr. Chairman?
Delegate Wright.
I'll move to put in the table again.
All right, we have a motion to lay on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all right. All those members will cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
No.
All right, the motion to lay on the table is adopted 4-3. Thank you, Delegate Tran.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, let me see.
Want to go back to Davis?
Yeah, Delegate Davis, is he ready? Ms. Benz?
Happy to give it another shot.
All right,
All right.
getting a second chance.
Yes, sir. So I got House Bill 384. Would love to have the amendment moved.
All right, the amendment is before us.
Thank you.
Delegate Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 384, as substituted, deals with freedoms of conscience and expression. Essentially, there's two sections of this. The first section is protection against compelled speech. Basically, you can't be forced as an employee of the Commonwealth to be compelled to speak a particular message that's against your deeply held beliefs, values, or conscience. Additionally, below that, you can't be penalized for expressing your opinions in favor or against something on your own time. The second section does the exact same thing for local government employees, and I put this pretty specifically for, let's say, evolution. If you're a science teacher and you don't believe in evolution, that's fine, but your job requires you to teach it, so you have to teach it. But on your own time, if you want to say evolution is BS, you can do that, and you can't be penalized for it. But you have to do your job. Same thing with, I use the other example as the pledge. The teacher doesn't believe in the pledge. Their job is, when the day starts, as directed by the principal, to have your class stand up and say the pledge. But on your own time, if you want to go out and speak against it, that's your right, and you can't be penalized for it. And, Mr. Chair, that's kind of what this bill does.
All right, thank you. Does any of the members have a question for the...
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Delegate Adams.
Thank you. So, thank you, Mr. Chair. And Delegate Davis, I want to ask a series of questions just to test my comprehension.
Sure.
So as I read this, it looks like, and I'm just reiterating what you're saying, but I'm also just trying to be clear, that whether you're in a state government job or a local government job, this is all government-based jobs, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you're not appointed, so you can't
Correct.
be in an appointed position, you're in a hired position.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't be compelled to say something that is against your belief. Now, I'm going to use something more controversial, but because it applies to me, I feel comfortable saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be compelled to say, I love gays, okay?
Correct.
Fine. Now, what also this says is that you can say whatever you want on your own time, but you can't if it's offensive or it messes up the rules or whatever. If it's in contradiction with the rules of your employment place, you can't speak your deeply held belief at work, but you can do it at home on your own time if you want to. Is that correct?
So I think I may disagree there. So this does not govern what you may say. This governs what you cannot be forced to say.
Yes, I got that part, but it also looked like
so if you tell your students I love gays, you don't get penalized for this.
No, but like say for example, at work you're fine, you're not doing anything against policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go home and you like have a Twitter fist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I hate gays, I hate you, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the situation. And you work for a state government or local government agency. In fact, maybe you work for Human Services, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have somebody who has basically said, and maybe you're in charge of, I don't know, the AIDS project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go home and you say, I hate the same people that I'm serving because it's my deeply held belief, and then you go to this employment. How does that not undermine the faith of a public servant, and how does that not, and I know that's extreme, right? But you gave a different kind of extreme. And so I'm just saying, how does that not harm the credibility of the agency from which they're employed?
So what this protects a person from at home is not all speech on Twitter. If you look at lines 18 through 20, it only protects them from penalization for expressing opinions in favor or opposition to a regulation, rule, policy, position, or other action or purpose of a unit of state government in his personal capacity as a member of the public on their personal time.
Yeah, so change it to, I think it's completely unfair that we have to treat people, a certain way, whatever the rule is. I mean, I think you don't have to really, strain your brain to figure out where I'm going. I mean, if you
go out
show
there and
yourself as a person
right.
to be hateful in whatever capacity, and you're in a public service job, particularly where it touches people's lives, how does that not undermine the credibility of the agency?
Well, so when you have a job, that job does not own you 24/7, regardless of what I tell my aide sitting over there. And so when you're at work, you are expected to act in accordance of your position, fulfilling the obligations and doing the duties of your position. But when you're at home, you have a freedom of speech. We have our First Amendment. That First Amendment freedom of speech is protected. And so if you want to go on Twitter and you want to say that I think our vacation policy is crazy, you have the right to do that. And no, you shouldn't be penalized for it.
Well, Mr. Chair, I just
Delegate Adams.
I just find this so dangerously offensive, and we can whitewash it with less toxic behaviors, but you cannot imagine the harm it does emotionally and spiritually to people when you're able to we're using social media for such bad purposes in addition to some of the good purposes, and it's very, very harmful. And I just think that in state-based and local government, when you're in a public service position paid for by tax dollars, it is just so detrimental to expose your character, even though you're totally entitled to it, and relate that to a public service agency. And so I wanted to make sure I understood it. I think I understand it, and I just find it really, really a disappointment that this is probably going to be voted as something that people can do. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Delegate. Any of the members have a question for the patron? All right. Any members from the audience?
Mr. Chairman, Josh Schutzler on behalf of the Founding Freedoms Law Center, which is a new law center, legal arm of the Family Foundation. And I often hear from folks over the last year and a half about incidents that happen relative to speech. And let me tell you, the cancel culture, it's real. And what this bill does is seek to address that. And really what it's trying to do is to respect the rights that they already should have under the First Amendment of the Constitution. We know that the First Amendment applies to the government, right? So that's why it's public employees. We know that you can't just saying just anything is okay, and that's why I think, as Delegate Davis pointed out, Part B is narrow. It's really talking about things related to policies of the government. For example, somebody who works for a city should be able to go before city council and say, I like this policy or I don't like this policy. And just to maybe address Delegate Adams' points, I think it's fair to point out some of that. But I think we have to recognize that speech is inherently a dangerous thing. It can be used for bad, but that's part of the give and take. Now, I think there ought to be consequences when people say mean things like the examples that you said. But I think that the consequences there play out differently. And what we're saying is the government shouldn't be the one to mete out those negative consequences. We should do it by other means. So thank you.
All right, thank you. I think we have some folks in the queue.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Narissa, did you want to speak?
Marissa, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee. My name is Narissa Rahman, and I'm the Executive Director of Equality Virginia. And we do oppose HB 384. We do have concerns that the true intent of this bill is to provide cover to state and local government employees who are anti-LGBTQ, and that this bill would give government employees, an individual veto over their job agenda and at risk undermine the rights of marginalized communities. I think of things like, marriage equality, which is law of the land. And we really want folks to make sure that they are following that law and, keeping with their job duties. So we urge you to oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Is that Mr. Chair, or is that the only one?
Last word, Delegate
Yes,
Davis.
sir. So, Mr. Chair, I think Narissa is either looking at the first version, where there was some ambiguity, which we cleaned up, and if she's not, she doesn't understand the bill, or she doesn't know me. Because there's no way I'm bringing a bill in front of this body to go and open up the attacks on the LGBTQ community. And anyone that knows me knows I'm not standing here doing that, and God knows I've had enough attacks on that for my positions on this before. So this bill is solely, and you heard it from the gentleman, we have a cancel culture. It's alive and well. The governor said it best when he said, everyone just be nice, and we should just be nice to each other. But that's not how things always work. And you have to have a balance. I agree that I hope that no one goes on Twitter and uses it as hate speech. And yes, it's a double-edged sword, but at the same time, we have people right now in society saying things that they believe, that on policies that they believe in, that doesn't hurt anyone. They're just voicing their opinion, and in doing so, they're being penalized by their employer for exercising their First Amendment rights. And, Mr. Chair, this puts balance back to that equation.
All right. The chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I have one more question.
Right.
Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to report.
Mr. Chairman, I had my request to speak button on.
Sorry. Delegate Jenkins.
Mr. Chairman, here in the last few years, we've seen a tremendous increase in divisiveness, hate, and just mean-spiritedness. And I think that I don't think that we should move bills forward that can increase that. So I have a motion to lay this bill on the table.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, you already have a motion.
Good. The motion to lay on table is takes preference.
No, but okay.
Yep. So anyway, yep. All right. We have a motion to lay on. The motion before us is to lay on the table. The members will cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
The motion to lay on the table fails by a vote of 3 to 4.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Delegate Wright.
I move to report.
We have a motion to report. Here's a second. All right. Members will cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
No.
All right, the bill report's out on vote 4 to 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I know I see my friend from Fort Monroe's been sitting around here since about noon. So Delegate Cordoza, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here to present House Bill 1206, or I should better say that I'm here to introduce the person who's going to present Bill 1206, one of our esteemed colleagues.
Thank you, Delegate Cordoza.
It's been a long day. I'll be short. I just want to remind you, you own 565 acres of land in the on an island in the Chesapeake Bay with 2 million square feet of buildings and 1 water meter for the entire property. It's probably one of the more unique campuses that the Commonwealth of Virginia owns. I was exiled there about 12 years ago, so I am back now and asking for some support. One of the things that Delegate Cordoza identified in his onboarding as a member of the Fort Monroe Authority Board of Trustees was that we could use a facilities department. You give us a lot of money to go hire contractors to do work. It's very expensive. Just to give you an idea, a roof railing, for example, can be as much as $100 a foot. If we could use our staff to do that, people who are trained in masonry work and tradesman carpentry, not a large staff, 2 or 3 people, we could begin to do some of that work in-house. There'd still be plenty of work for the contract world, but we could begin to make progress on it. One final statement, just the masonry work alone on the fortress walls are estimated at in excess of $50 million. So this would be a good bill. We think that it would probably needs to go to appropriations. Obviously, you're probably looking at somewhere around $600,000 for the first year to set up the department, and then $400,000 a year after the appropriations would enjoy discussing this, I'm sure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do any of the members have a question for the patron or the witness? Delegate Moorfield, you have a motion. Have a motion to report and refer to appropriations been seconded. All those in favor or will cast their vote on electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
Delegate Carr.
All right, the bill is reported and referred by a vote of 6 to nothing.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your ride home.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you,
Delegate Adams.
She's not here. Oh, the other Adams. Oh.
Delegate L.R. Adams. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
House Bill 752.
Yes, sir. House Bill 752 adds a section to the Code of Virginia respecting the Office of the Inspector General. Specifically, it provides an additional guarantee that the Inspector General is able to conduct his investigations for fraud, waste, and abuse without interference. And there's just 4 lines that have been added with respect to this section to say that neither the governor nor his chief of staff, counsel, director of policy, or any cabinet secretaries shall interfere or exert undue influence upon any investigation of OSIG. And this legislation was brought following, the very public investigations that we saw this past year, and I was surprised to see when I heard those reports. I read through the code section and was surprised to see that there was nothing prohibiting that type of interference. And I think this would be an important check on the independence of these investigations. The governor does have broad authority in terms of the person he appoints, in terms of the person and he also has the ability to terminate employment of the Inspector General, but he has to put those reasons in writing, and he has certain boundaries that he's supposed to comply with. But in terms of the independence of the investigation, I think that we need something like this to ensure that balance.
The members have a question for the patron?
Mr. Chair, I would like to offer that I appreciate the delegate bringing this forward. I think that many of us were astounded how the issue that played out last summer, and disappointed. The Commonwealth's much better than that. So given that said, I would like to offer a motion to report, please.
All right, we have a motion to report. Members will cast their vote on electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
Bill reports 5-0.
All right.
Doug Adams, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I am going to ask just real quickly. I know Delegate Maldonado's been sitting here for a long time, so come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. I'm here to talk about HB 952. And in this particular this bill, this is for the establishment of the Virginia African Diaspora Advisory Board. This board would have 18 non-legislative members, 3 ex officio members, which would include the secretaries of Agriculture and Forestry, Commerce and Trade, as well as Education. And these would be non-voting privileges positions. I'm really excited to share and present this with you today as somebody who is a member of the African diaspora. My family comes from the country of Cabo Verde, which are islands off the coast of Senegal, West Africa. And many of us who come from the African nations and come here to the Commonwealth, we come here highly educated, we come here very productive, and as in a previous session, we hear that small business is the backbone of this economy. And many people from the Virginia African diaspora come here, are highly educated and very successful, productive small business owners in our area. Right now, Virginia is proud to be home of over 115,000 Virginians from the African diaspora, all throughout the Commonwealth, from northern Virginia to the most southern tips and Hampton Roads area. We also have a number of small and medium business owners contributing to the economic growth and job creation, and over $205 million in international trade, which has aided in Virginia becoming one of the best states for business. Virginia has underutilized our diaspora in helping our small business expand to African nations with a lot of opportunities. And through the creation of this board, they'll be able to advise the governor on ways to improve economic and cultural links between the Commonwealth and African nations, focusing primarily on 3 areas: commerce and trade, agriculture, and higher education. And these 3 areas in particular are very powerful and would be great areas of contribution to our Commonwealth. In particular, I want to highlight the agricultural pieces because even though I hail from Northern Virginia, I am a firm believer that what happens in one place happens in all places, and we need to be thinking about our rural areas across the global Commonwealth. And this advisory board would help to bring things there, as well as import, export, international trade opportunities to our ports. The community has worked to increase goods and services across our Commonwealth as well, and expanding our trade will help that. This community has grown almost 50% between 2010 and 2018, so we have a very large and continuing to grow population here. It has broad support across our party lines, across the aisle in here. In fact, a companion bill was passed unanimously in the Senate, and of course, if folks remember back in October 2021, our Governor Youngkin had a conversation with the Ethiopian community and committed to helping support particularly the areas of trade and agriculture and commerce. So I would like to sort of end by thanking the committee, and I hope that it'll be your pleasure to pass the bill, and I'm available for any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you, Delegate Maldonado. Does any of the members have a question for the patron? All right, from the audience? All right, I think we have some folks in the queue.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. First, Mr. Elenonu. I'm so sorry if I butcher any names.
Hey, sir, we welcome your testimony. I'm working on about a 14-hour day, so I hope you will be brief, sir. So please, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, the members of the committee. My name is Chooks Leono. I'm with the African Diaspora for Good Governance, and we strongly support the bill. Let me just give 2 quick examples why you should support the bill as well. The Commonwealth of Virginia already have Asian and Latino advisory boards. It is only proper that the only other ethnic group in the Commonwealth that has been disadvantaged for a very long time get that opportunity as well. Secondly, African diasporans have very key priority issues that are very much different from those shared by African Americans. Creating this board does not take away, nor does it dilute what the African American Advisory Board does. So we urge all members to please support HB 952.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair.
Delegate Runyon.
I really do appreciate the opportunity, and I would love to hear from the others. However, the hour is late, and I think this is a wonderful idea, and I really do appreciate you bringing this forward. I think it's an exciting opportunity for the Commonwealth to achieve the things that you're talking about. So I would offer a motion that we report the bill and put it.
Report and refer.
Thank you. Getting tongue-tied.
Second. All right. The members shall cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
Bill report 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Committee Chair. I would like to just, in closing, acknowledge and thank our chief co-patrons, Delegate Davis, Delegate Candy Munyin King, and Delegate Suhas Subramanian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Delegate Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I think there's an amendment. Is that right, Ms. Spence? So a line amendment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on line 100, after 4, strike the remainder of line 100 and through 2.2-234 on line 101 and insert military communities.
All right.
Okay. So HB 354 establishes the Virginia Military Community Infrastructure Grant Fund. This is a $10 million grant fund submitted by the Northern Administration and brought to me by the Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs. My co-patron is Delegate Jenkins. Put simply, this is an investment fund. The grant fund money will aid in the planning, design, construction, or completion of infrastructure projects that enhance military readiness, installation resiliency, or quality of life in the military communities. This bill will only support military community resilience projects that are outside the military installation perimeter. What is indisputable is the military is a clear economic driver in Virginia. It accounts for 19% of the Commonwealth's gross product. DoD spending has a $103.7 billion impact on Virginia and generates almost 1 million jobs. DoD is faced with difficult choices on installation sustainment and future basing decisions. A recurrent question to the states with DoD assets is, what are you doing to earn the benefit of military installations? And Virginia has a lot of competition. Currently, 13 states have programs to fund or finance projects that improve the military value of their installations. Our biggest competition is Florida and Texas. DoD is continually assessing basing decisions and moving missions and resources independent of a formal BRAC. I hope you will agree it is extremely important to demonstrate a clear commitment to DoD that Virginia will provide economic advantage for our military communities' mission sustainment, infrastructure integrity, and quality of life. I would like to invite Tom Krabs, the military liaison of the Office of Veteran and Defense Affairs, to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, sir. Mr. Chairman, again, Tom Krabs, military liaison for the Secretary of Veterans and Defense Affairs. The governor supports this bill. It will strengthen our military communities and strengthen our position for military investment.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Does any of the members have any questions for the patron?
Mr. Chairman, this is an excellent bipartisan bill, and as we just stated, it's going to strengthen our communities.
Yep.
And I would move that we report this bill.
All right, we have a motion report. We have a second. Any other questions? Report and refer, excuse me, to go up to appropriations. Delegate Jenkins. You want to have a second?
Yeah, second.
With amendments?
Yeah. Second.
All right. All the members cast their votes. It's getting late.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great bill,
Thank you
Delegate
very
Teo.
much.
All right, we're getting it went on down here. All right, Chris Head.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This should be a very
I hope, quick and easy bill. I'll bring to you House Bill 1289. It was brought to me by some contractors in the area. Currently, Virginia is in an awkward position competitively with some of our neighboring states in the energy requirements in the Uniform Statewide Building Code. We've adopted some that apply to absolutely all buildings, and buildings that are being built as shell buildings or as a warehouse or in some cases manufacturing are being held to the same insulation standards and energy efficiency standards as every other building, and it really puts us at a competitive disadvantage because those buildings, it adds expense and it adds it is superfluous to the use of those buildings. And initially we were directing the agencies to update the building code, but instead we have a substitute for you that changes this to a Section 1 bill and simply now says that the Board of Housing and Community Development is directed to consider during the next development cycle revising the Uniform Statewide Building Code so that any requirements for energy efficiency standards established for the certain building types that are outlined here in factory groups would be possibly exempted from those. So it is now simply a direction that they will consider this. I think as a result of that, everybody is happy with this. I don't know of any known opposition. We have some folks to speak to it if necessary, but
All right, we have a motion on substitute. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, the bill is amended, is in front of us. Do we, any other questions for the patron?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
We have a motion. Second. Report. All right, we got a motion. Report and second on the substitute. With substitute, all those in favor, well, all those cast their vote on electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
Aye.
All right, the bill reports 5-1.
Thank you, Mr.
Delegate
Chairman.
Head, all right. Delegate Lopez. We got. I'm going to need you to make a motion.
He's the last one, I think.
I got to have my bill go by for the day. Delegate Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I have a substitute. I worked with the Department of Health, the Governor's Department of Health Professions, on a substitute that would exempt most health professions and keep them in compliance with existing state compacts that govern reciprocity for health profession licenses between Virginia and other states. Could we accept the substitute, Mr. Chairman?
All right, all those in favor of this adopting substitute, say aye. All opposed? All right, substitute's before us. I'm still trying to find the darn thing here on my. Yeah, what bill number is this?
864, sir.
864, that's right. Oh, I got it. All right. Oh, yeah, I've got it.
May I continue, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman?
yes.
Sorry,
I'm
thank you,
sorry.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I just wanted to thank the Department of Health Professions for their support or their offer to make some amendments and help me with the substitute. So I really appreciate that in the governor's office. Over 48 different professions require a license in Virginia, including barbers, body piercers, cosmetologists, tattoo artists. There's been a great deal of discussion here in Virginia and nationwide about the severe worker shortages industries have faced since the beginning of the COVID pandemic, and which many industries continue to struggle with even to this day. There are many good policy ideas to address these shortages, but one of the best and simplest ways to tackle this crisis would be to allow already trained, already qualified Virginians to qualify for professional or occupational licenses that will allow them to work and contribute to our economy to the fullest extent possible. My bill seeks to do just that by slightly changing the code to permit Virginians to qualify professional or for professional or occupational licenses as long as they can provide any form of government-issued photo ID. That would include a state-issued ID card, a state-issued driver's license, or other photo ID that states the applicant's address. And this would apply to folks who are temporary protective status, asylums, like official asylum seekers, folks like that. 12 states, including Florida, Minnesota, South Dakota, Utah, Wyoming, Arkansas, and West Virginia, have already moved to tear down these obstacles to employment and fully integrate these hundreds and thousands of eligible workers into their state economies. I think it's a tragedy not to allow them to obtain the license that they could use to become a cosmetologist or a hairdresser, to obtain the license they need in order to continue or start a career. And I think it's Mr. Chairman, I think this bill is good for our economy. It's good for professional fields that so desperately need more qualified and licensed employees. And this bill is good for the thousands of Virginia families that will benefit and prosper from better employment opportunities. Like I said, sir, this has already been done in Florida, Minnesota, South Dakota, several states, including West Virginia, Arkansas, and Wyoming.
Thank you, Delegate Lopez. Does any of the members have a question for the patron?
Mr. Chairman.
If any of the two folks out in the audience want
Emotional support.
Delegate Wright.
I have a motion to table the bill.
Okay, all right, we have a motion to lay this one on the table, which is a privileged motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a motion and seconded. All right, so the members will cast their vote on the electronic voting machine.
Delegate Carr.
No.
All right, well, the bill is laid on the table. I vote of 4-2. Thank you, Delegate Lopez. I have one bill I think I left on our docket. Delegate Runyon.
I'm not sure if this is the right time, but I'll go ahead and ask it unless you tell me not to. I'm confused that on House Bill 354, Delegate Tata, we sent that to approach. Does it need to go to approach? Is there a letter regarding that?
Yes, that's correct.
There was a letter?
Yes, it's in my, yep. All right, we have, it was my bill here.
1253.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Delegate Wright.
I have a motion to be passed by for the day, HB 1253.
All right, you have a motion. Is there a second? All right. Second, all. Sorry. Something came up. So anyway, so we got members, we have to vote on, is that a roll call?
For what?
Is that a voice vote?
Pass by?
Yeah.
Just a voice.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the motion is by for the day. I believe that concludes our docket. I want to thank all the folks for really stepping up today. We had a lot on our docket in general laws, and I tell you, I can't appreciate the clerk and the staff, everybody for hanging in, so thank you. Appreciate it. We are adjourned.